A very good morning to all of you, class 6. Welcome back to this English class. This is your personal study. So in this class, we will do revision of the lesson, the old clock. In the last live class, I've explained this lesson. So today I will give you a summary of the lesson and I will explain the question answers. And along with the question answers which are given in the textbook, I will give you some extra question answers. So I would want all of you to please write down these questions and write their answers in your notebooks because these are important. Okay, so we will do revision and we will discuss question of answers of the lesson, the old clock. This is taken from the supplementary book, and remember, this is a part of your term 1 syllabus. Now let me give you the summary of the lesson here. The summary of the old clock shop. This is here the story is about, it is about a man called Ray who is deaf, and he has a shop. He has a clock shop which is quite old, and he works there, and it is a Christmas Eve. That means it is a evening before the Christmas, and he's winding up his work and he's finishing his work. Now he's ready to go home, and he suddenly feels that there's a fresh blow of wind from the door, and he turns around and he finds a man. Two men have entered. One is standing at the door and another one has entered. And when Ray meets this man, when he looks at him, there's a he suddenly realizes that this man has not come to shop. This man he is not a usual customer. He has come with some with some evil intention. He has come with intention to rob Ray. So Ray gets a little scared. He gets a little scared because of the situation, but he does not lose his cool, and he acts very coolly and very calmly, and he uses his presence of mind, and he pushes his notepad, because Ray uses a notepad to interact with his customers. He will give a notepad and a pen to his customers, and Ray would write, "How may I help you?" And the customers will write down whatever they want. If they want to repair their shop, their watch or clock, or if they want to buy a clock or a watch. So that is how he communicates with the customers. So Ray, he pushes the notepad towards the man, but they both understand that this man has not come to buy anything from the shop. Indeed, he has come here to rob Ray. Then he asks, he suddenly Ray uses his common presence of mind, and he asks, "Have you come here to pick up a clock or a watch?" Because he points up towards on the wall there is a board which written loan. Okay, the loan is mentioned here. Although Ray is not a pawnbroker is somebody who buys people's thing at a certain rate, and then he sells back those things to the owner with a little interest. He charges a little interest. So that is called that means you can loan yourself your things at the shop and you can get some money. So Ray asked him, "Have you come here to pick up a clock or something?" And then he points towards the board which loan is mentioned. Now Ray has noticed that the man who has come here, he is he does not look like a usual robber or somebody who has committed crime earlier. Let me show you the pictures of the textbook here. Yes, so Ray sees that this man does not look like a normal criminal, and he sees that he is down. Maybe this man is he's facing some financial problem. He is down with his luck. There's some difficulties going on in his life, and that's why he is compelled, or he is forced by such circumstances, such situation in his life to commit a crime. So Ray is wise, and he understands with his experienced eyes that this man is compelled and he has come to commit this crime because of his circumstances. Then what happens? There's when the man, when Ray pointed the loan board to the man, the man, his expression changes. Okay, his expression changes, and then he takes out his watch and tells him, how much will you give me for this? Now, and Ray noticed that there is a little shame in the man's expression, and then now the man is offering his watch to be loaned. Now the watch is not of a very expensive quality, or it's not of a very good it does not have a very high value, but it has great powers. And what are the great powers? The great powers are that watch can buy him out of that difficult situation. That watch can stop him from committing any crime. The watch is going to stop him from doing something which will regret in his life later on. So that is the power. That watch has a great power. What is the great powers of the watch? That is what it means. It's going to buy him out of that difficult situation, that bad situation. Then what Ray does is he reaches out of his pocket and he gives $50 and pass it on to the man's hand. Both of them, they know that $50 is, it's a too big amount for that watch, but Ray is a good man and he's a helpful man, and he always, if some needy person comes to him for some help, he always gives money more than the value of their thing. So, and that is how Ray tries to help people in need. And then later on, the man says that, after he takes that $50, he says, I will come back to pick up as soon as I can. And he wish him Merry Christmas. And at the end of the whole thing ended, and the clock struck 12. That means it is right now that it's 25th of December. That means it is Christmas, and there's a music playing, and that music has a message of peace on earth, goodwill towards all men. Okay, so this is the music, and all the people in the shop, all the three people in the shop, they get this message. Now let us discuss this question answers. What made Ray think that visitors were not really shoppers? Because what made him think that they were not shoppers? Because one man was standing at the door, and one man had entered, and his hands was fidgeting or moving restlessly in his pocket. So that's when he realized, and he did not have any friendly smile or a friendly look. So that made Ray realize that these people, the visitors, are not really shopper. Why do you think he had come to the shop? He had come to the shop these two men had come to the shop to rob Ray. How did Ray communicate with him? He communicated with the help of a notepad and a pen, because Rev was deaf. What do you think the man said to his friend who waited at the door? What do you think he said to the man? Because when he realized that this man is when he turned around, what do you think? That is, you will write it on your opinion. What is your understanding of this particular question? Ray was not a pawnbroker. Why then he lent money to people in exchange for their old watches and clocks? Because Ray was helpful and kind and considerate. Okay, so these are some very good qualities of Ray, in which he tries to help people. The watch was nothing special and yet had great powers. In what sense did it have great powers? I've just explained this in the summary. Do you think the man would have ever come back to pick up the watch? Now that is your opinion. What do you think about it? Do you think that man would have come back to pick up the watch, or he did not? When the unfriendly face of the visitor turned truly friendly, when did it is towards the end. When did it end? Towards the end, when Ray offered him to loan, he gave him a chance where he can loan his belonging. Now that is when his unfriendly face turned friendly. So you need to elaborate these answers. Okay, please elaborate these answers. Now I will give you some extra question answers from the lesson. These are some extra question answers from the lesson. Few questions are short and few questions are long question answers. I want all of you to please write down these questions and write their answers in your notebooks. How can you say that Ray helped people in need? He loaned, and he loaned more than he should, or what is the value of the thing they loan, and he does not charge interest. So these are few question answers. I would want all of you to please write answers. I am going to upload this document in Google Classroom so you can see from there. How can you say that Ray helped people in need? You have to write down what does he do, how does he loan, give money to anybody who wants to loan their watch or clock, and he does not charge any interest, and he always gives money more than value of their things. Give the description of two men. The two men who had come, one was in his 20s and one was in 50s. You have to give a description. They did not look very friendly. Was Raw upon broker? Give reason. No, he was not. He was not, but never said no to needy people. Anyone who came to place their clocks, he would always to place their clock or watch. Ray would always help them. You'll have to give that answer. Where was Ray going when the customer entered his shop? So it was late at night, so he was going back home when suddenly the door opened and his visitors came to his shop. What was the occasion when the old man came to Ray's shop? It was Christmas Eve. How much did Ray pay for the shopper for his watch? He paid him $50. What were the feeling experienced by the three men? The feeling experienced by the three men, we are talking about this feeling. The feeling of goodwill, peace and goodwill. Peace and goodwill. Okay, this is the feeling we are talking about. Then okay, this question 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, these are all typed in bold. These are long question answers. You need to write in detail. What had the men come to the shop for? Give suitable evidence for your answers. Why did they come? Did they come to shop? No, they came to rob. So why do you think they have come to rob? What makes you believe that they have come to rob? So you will have to give the evidence. You have to give the reasons. Like one of them was guarding the door. He was at the door. One entered. He did not have a friendly face, and Ray could see that he had a gun in his pocket. So all these you have to mention. Why did the men's watch have great powers? This is in the explanation I have mentioned. I have explained this. How did Ray realize that two men who had came to his shop were not usual customers? This question and question number 8 is moral. They are very similar, but then you have to answer this from the Ray's point of view. Okay. Write the character sketch of Ray. Write a character sketch of Ray. In writing the character sketch, you will have to write all about his good qualities. In this question, write the character sketch of Ray. You can write that Ray was deaf and he could not speak. Now, people who are deaf, they cannot speak. So, could not speak nor hear and communicate with the customers. He used to, how did he communicate? He used notepad and a pen to communicate with his customer. Ray is a very kind and a helpful person who never refuses to help those who are needy. Two shoppers had come to Ray's shop with an intention to rob. Ray gave them money for old watch without to save the man from committing that crime. And Ray was also cool-minded, and he had a good presence of mind, and he could handle the situation. In a situation like when two men had come to rob, he did not panic. Okay, so these are all the things which you have to mention when you write the character sketch of Ray. Okay, then how did he communicate, how did he work in his shop, and how did he help this man? The old clock gave a message of peace and goodwill through Ray. Elaborate. What does it mean? Ray, the old deaf dealer, used to sell clocks and watches and help any needy customer. You have to write down that incident. One night, two men had come to Ray's shop with an intention to rob him. Ray handled the situation very carefully and gave $50 for an old watch. he kept his cool, and seeing this gesture of goodwill, peace, and this his conduct, or his gesture, it sent the message of goodwill and peace to both the men. Okay, so this is, you'll have to elaborate it, you'll have to write in detail like what happened. And so don't think that if you have written something in one question, then you will not repeat it in another question, because these are all different questions. So same thing can be repeated in another question if it is required to. Okay, so remember this 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, these are long questions. You need to answer them keeping at least 5-8 marks in mind. Okay, so children, these are very important questions. Please write down in your notebooks.